beautiful friends, welcome back to my kitchen. My name is Anna and today we're making a classic risotto. Risotto is such a classic, just delicious recipe. I'm showing you today how to make a classic white risotto because you can go a million different ways with it. You can add some meat, you can add seafood, you can add veggies. This is kind of like the base risotto that I use pretty much for all of my risottos, and it's pretty spectacular, I have to say. I know some people think that risotto is a very complicated dish, but it's really not. You just need very basic ingredients. It's just a little time consuming and you do need some patience. So if you have those two, you can make a classic risotto. The ingredients are very simple, like I said. You're gonna need some stock. I have some chicken stock, some homemade chicken stock here that I had previously frozen, and I defrosted it all the way. You can use some vegetable stock, you can use some beef stock. I personally, for a white risotto, if I'm gonna serve it just plain, I like either chicken stock or vegetable stock. You're gonna need some shallot. If you don't have shallots on hand, you can use some onion and some garlic. I sometimes add the garlic with my shallot. Today I'm just gonna use a shallot. Feeling I don't want garlic in mine today. You're gonna need a little bit of white wine. This adds a beautiful flavor to your risotto, especially since it's so basic, it's so plain. I find that a little wine really takes it to another level. Salt, pepper. Here I have some Arborio rice. This is perfect for risotto. I know in Italy they use other types of rices to make risotto, but it's really hard to find here in the States. Some Arborio rice would do. You're gonna need a little bit of butter, Parmigiano Reggiano, and some extra virgin olive oil. So you're gonna need 2 skillets. So you're gonna need a high side skillet, and then in the back here I have a saucepan. And what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna add my stock to the saucepan. I'm gonna turn on the heat to medium. Once it starts simmering, then I'll bring the temperature down to low, but for now I want it to simmer, and because you wouldn't want to add a cold liquid to your risotto, it's pretty much gonna kind of like stop the cooking process because it has to warm up the stock again, and it's just not good. So you need some warm stock because you have to add it 1 ladle full at a time. So that's where the patience comes in. For now, let me just simply chop my shallot. I like mine pretty small, but you can pretty much do it any size you like. I have my skillet on medium heat. I'm going to add, well, that was a little too much oil. And I'm going to add my shallot right into the pan. I'm also going to season it with a touch of salt. Okay, I'm going to give this a quick stir. You just want to cook this shallot until they're translucent and tender. We don't want to develop any color on them. So I'm just gonna let it cook for about 2 to 3 minutes. So once that you see that they're kind of there and they're translucent and tender, we add our rice. Now we want to mix this together. You want to coat all the rice in the oil, and we're going to let it toast a little bit, about a minute or 2. The rice is looking wonderful. Now I'm going to add the wine. And I'm going to let that cook. You want the wine to evaporate completely before we start adding our stock. Okay, so you can probably tell the wine has evaporated pretty much all the way. So this is when I'm going to start adding. I also brought the temperature down to medium low. And now this is the part where we start adding 1 ladle full of stock at a time, and then it's really important that you stir pretty frequently because that's going to prevent the risotto from forming any lumps, and it's going to end up really creamy and delicious. You want the rice to absorb pretty much all of the broth before we add the next ladle full. And you're going to be doing this for about 20 to 25 minutes. Okay, so as you can see, the rice, it's pretty dried. It has absorbed all of that liquid. So now we add another ladle full. We're gonna stir again, and we're gonna let the rice absorb all of the liquid before we add another ladle full. And you wanna continue doing this pretty much, like I said, until the rice is cooked through, tender. My risotto is done cooking. It was cooking for exactly 23 minutes. I believe risotto should be cooked al dente, so it should be soft, but it should have a nice little bite to it. So you can see it's a little too dry, and this is not how you want to serve risotto. So I'm gonna turn off the heat, and I'm going to add one last ladleful of liquid. I'm gonna mix that in, and I hope you guys can tell how creamy. It's just, look how creamy and delicious. We are going to add the butter right in, and I'm going to season it now with a little bit more of salt and pepper to season it at the end. Like a generous amount of pepper and some salt. Now we let the butter melt, and this is gonna make the risotto even more creamy and luscious. Beautiful. Look how beautiful. Now that I've added the butter, I'm going to add my Parmesan cheese, and I'm gonna mix that in, and this is ready to be served. I like to let it sit after I add the cheese and the butter and everything in the pan for like 2 minutes. Now it's ready to be served. I have a warm dinner plate. This is important because it's gonna keep, yeah, it's pretty warm. It's gonna keep the risotto really nice and creamy. What you can do, what I usually do, is you wanna turn on your oven to 150 to 170 degrees Fahrenheit, and I pop in the plates for about 10-15 minutes until they are really nice and warm. So we're gonna go ahead and serve this baby up, and it is just so beautiful. I like to finish mine off with a little bit of fresh parsley and little sprinkling of cracked pepper right on top, and this is just so yummy. Look at that. I want you guys to see. Look at that beautiful plate. I want you guys to see. Well, this plate is really warm. How just, you see how creamy it is? It's not clumpy. It is perfectly creamy and delicious. I'm gonna give this a try. To an absolute perfection. It's perfectly al dente. It's really creamy. Beautiful flavor. Now with this recipe, you can go 1,000,001 ways. Eventually I'll be sharing with you different variations that I make a risotto, but this is always kind of like the base to it, and it is perfect. Stay tuned for the video that I'm going to be making with leftover risotto that I know you will love. It's a Roman classic, so if you already know what it is, leave me a comment down below. See if you guessed it. So I hope you guys enjoyed. Remember, written recipe on my website, anitasdelightsrecipes.com, and I will see you in the next one. Bye bye.